My name is Frank Wu. I'm a Committee of 100 member, and I have the honor of serving as the Vice Chair for Research. In this panel, we will present the survey findings, the results of our comprehensive year-long effort to study public attitudes here in the United States toward Asian Americans and Chinese Americans. We're joined by a distinguished group of commentators. We'll be presenting to you some of this data and then engaging in a lively discussion about the changing perceptions, the roles of Asian Americans and Chinese Americans. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the generous support that we've received for this project. We have received substantial grants from the Rockefeller Foundation, the Verizon Foundation, and the Minneapolis Foundation. In particular, I'd like to thank the Wells Fargo Foundation. Wells Fargo has been an active participant in many Committee of 100 conferences over the years, and we have the fortune of being joined by John M. Papadopoulos, the president of the Retirement Services Group at Wells Fargo, who will offer a few welcoming remarks.
Thank you so much. It's an honor for me to represent our company here today. I want to give you a little history of our relationship with the Chinese American community, which dates back over 157 years ago to our founding in California. As the face of America has changed since then, Wells Fargo has continued and expanded our commitment to helping Chinese American individuals, families, and businesses succeed. Today, this commitment reaches far and wide, from phone bankers who speak Mandarin and Cantonese, to our Asian Business Services program that reached its $3 billion lending goal 3 years early, to our support of the Committee of 100. As I noted, this commitment is not new. It's part of who we are. And let me give you just a couple of examples. In 1871, we were the first company to publish a series of directories of Chinese-owned businesses for the benefit of our West Coast customers. In fact, we told our employees to give the directories to our best customers. 4 years later, when Chinese merchant Wang San produced an English-Chinese handbook to provide his countrymen with important words and phrases, he included a listing of all the Wells Fargo offices. In addition, Wells Fargo is one of the oldest continuous employers of Chinese Americans and one of the oldest continuous suppliers of financial services to Asian Americans. Today, approximately 6% of our customers are Asian. Our international personal banking group offers a full-service network of home mortgages, insurance, investment, and wealth management professionals who assist customers moving from China and other Asian communities to the U.S., and maintains a toll-free phone center staffed with multilingual representatives. This year, Wells Fargo was pleased to help underwrite the Committee of 100 survey on public attitudes towards Chinese and Asian Americans, and our distinguished panel will be discussing the survey results with you shortly. Our support of this study is just the most recent component of our commitment to the Chinese American community. We also have an unwavering commitment to helping customers succeed financially. In fact, our president and CEO, John Stumpf, often says that the primary business of Wells Fargo isn't making money. It's helping our customers succeed. Our wealth management team, our network of almost 18,000 financial advisors, and the retirement business which I run are all focused on learning about each customer and working to establish a long-term partnership. We start by listening and learning about you, and then we build a plan to help you achieve your specific goals. Managing your finances and navigating the path to financial success has never been simple and has always required a personal touch. Today, it's much more complicated, which makes a personal connection even more important. Rarely in our lifetime have people needed wise financial guidance and a solid financial plan more than they do today. That's why we're here today and why we'll be here for you in the years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and thank you again to the Wells Fargo Foundation for their generous support of this survey project. Before we begin talking about the survey, we're also privileged to be joined by Mr. Arnold Jackson, Associate Director of the United States Census. As the Chief Operating Officer, he has tremendous responsibilities for helping us understand the changing face of this great nation of ours. And we asked him to give some brief remarks about the census process as a way of framing our understanding of public attitudes. So let me ask Mr. Jackson to come to the podium, and please join me in thanking him for sharing his time. Jackson.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Frank. Let me bring greetings to you from the Department of Commerce, which is where we in the Census Bureau reside. We're excited about our Secretary, Governor Gary Locke, who I think is on your program, and he has made it clear that the decennial census is an important priority of his. In fact, his first appearance, I think, in this city was at a partnership meeting that we hosted on the very first day of his tenure here. We were so pleased and so excited. Since then, he has come to the Census Bureau, and the impact he had is immeasurable. It is really great to have him as our leader. Let me also thank Congressman Mike Honda. I don't know if Mike is here or not. Mike has reached out to me and my staff and those at the Census Bureau to make sure that we understand the concerns of the Asian community in general, the Chinese community, other communities that we must focus on very, very sharply to have a complete and equitable count in 2010. We realize that we must count everyone and that that's not easy. However, it is very, very important that we count everyone. So we will be focused on the Chinese American community. We'll be focused on other Asian communities. And I'd just like to mention briefly to you some of the things we're doing in the census, and then specifically that I think will lead to an extraordinary count in 2010, and one that reflects the changing portrait that is this country, and provides a backdrop, as Frank mentioned, to some of the matters that are raised in this very, very rich report that you are saluting today. First of all, as you may know, the process of doing a census starts many years back. We've been at it in terms of planning 2010 now for about 9 years. And the planning, the testing, and all of that was based on an improved operational census. A couple of points. We have a very short and simple form this time. We have an American Community Survey that replaced the form that had all of the socioeconomic demographic data. And we have a new geographic system. That geographic system has allowed us to conduct an operation that's actually going on right now. We have over 100,000 listers throughout the country establishing an accurate address and geographic list for our mail-out operation next year, which, of course, as you know, is the backbone of the census. So having pursued those objectives, we were able to start operations just about a month ago for this canvassing operation I just mentioned. We have 150 offices now. We will have 494 offices by October of this year. We have over 1 million applicants in our files, and we continue to recruit for the operations we have to do next year. Those are just a couple of highlights that I wanted you to know that we are ready, we're prepared, and we're poised, and we are actually in operations and slightly ahead of schedule. Let me now just mention a couple of things you may be interested in, because I think we have designed a program that focuses on the ethnic richness of this country that is unparalleled and never seen before. We have a multifaceted program. It begins with local hiring. That means that communities that are populated largely by Chinese Americans will be serviced by Chinese Americans, both on the ground in terms of those who knock on doors and in our offices where we have our managers. Secondly, we have a partnership program. The partnership program is where we assign staff to go out and work with groups at the national level, like this great group that's putting on this event, and at the local level in the community, very, very localized. So that partnership program has benefited from additional stimulus funding that we were fortunate to get, and we will have soon 2,000 partnership specialists nationwide, some of whom will be assigned to your organizations, to your communities, to your groups.